Hi, I'm Saad.
What? Hi. I'm Sultan.
And I'm Ethan.
My name's Ryan. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a science show, and we'll be talking about the periodic table of elements.
Basically, the periodic table of elements are different elements that are contained in the whole world and the universe as we know it.
There are different types of elements.
There are many different elements, including tungsten, oxygen, and many others. Coca-Cola not included.
So, the elements can be split into 4 different categories. Some are synthetic, which are made in the lab. Some are gases, which are in the gaseous state, in which the chemical bonds are really weak. Ryan. Some are solid, in which the chemical bonds are really strong. And some are liquids, like Coca-Cola.
Which is not an element, by the way.
It's not an element. So, yeah, just in case any of you were thinking about that, big X for you.
And mainly, these elements are devised into groups. As you can see, we put the big word groups in here in big blue letters. Very stylish. And you have groups that go from 1 all the way to 18 over here.
There are also periods, which are basically the rows. What? Ryan.
Okay. There are also Latin names for them, so that's why some of the symbols don't match up with the real names, such as tungsten. The Latin name for tungsten is wolfram.
Right here, you can close up.
It's like ramming a wolf into a wall. That's how you can remember it.
Yep.
Totally.
It
So-
works. I've tried it.
Anyways, each of the periods or rows, as my friend Ethan demonstrated earlier, they represent how many,
Electrons.
electron clouds, thank you, an atom contains. So, this first period would have 1 layer of electrons, which would contain 2. The second layer would contain 1 to 8. Third layer, 1 to 8, and so on.
And these groups, they actually have special names from them. These are the alkaline metals, the alkaline earth metals. These are, well, we don't really have much names for these, so you could call them like the scandium group, the titanium group. But let's just go to 13. The boron group, the carbon group, the nitrogen group, the oxygen group, the halogens, and the noble gases.
And just for you, those of you who are wondering, there is no Coca-Cola group.
I
I
wish
can-
there was.
I can see why it's called the Boron Group. I always found the Middle Ages boring. Except for the Knights. Those are cool.
Ha 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 ha.
It's funny science. Anyways, some of the Latin names that were mentioned earlier for some of the strangely named elements, as Ryan explained earlier, tungsten is W for wolfram. Another one is copper, Cu for cuprum. And another one would be potassium, which is calcium, and...
Gotta remember Caleb Worthy, right, guys?
Hey.
Gold and silver.
Yeah.
Down.
Oh yeah, gold and silver are actually some ones, and if any of you guys have read Percy Jackson, you know that gold is aurum and silver is argentum, and these are actually the Latin names for silver and gold. You can tell by Raina's dogs.
So, as you can see over there, sodium is Na, which does not mean not available, by the way.
I wish it
It-
did.
The Latin name is actually natrium.
I can't think of any jokes, so let's just move on.
Anyways, some of these can also have really crazy names. Like, for example, Mercury, which is Hg, would stand for, well, something really crazy like Hydra. What is it? A Hydra. Hydrogyrum. There we go.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And some elements on the periodic table don't really have any names for them. We haven't put them on here because they're not very important. I mean, they're important, but
Well,
like,
they're important.
we
They're
just call them
important, they're just not well known.
Yeah, and these elements basically have the unun beginning inside of them, and the symbols are U, and then the beginning letter of the rest of it. Like unun hexium would be UUH, unun quadium UUQ.
Uh,
Coke.
So Ethan, what
Coca-Cola
elements
wrong
are
place.
liquids? Tell us. Oh, gases.
Some gases are like hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon. No, carbon is not a gas.
Do you want to go ahead and tell us about the
got
gases?
you.
Yes, there are many gases, including krypton. Just remember, Superman. He comes from a gas. And then,
Oh, yeah.
and then there's also other things like xenon, radon. What does rad stand for? Really? What?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay. But
That's so
with all
bad.
this gas talk, you may be wondering how do farts form. Will we be making another episode about that?
No,
So do you
no.
want to continue with naming all the gases?
Anyways, among the gases there is hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, chlorine, argon, krypton, think
xenon.
Superman, xenon, and
Radon.
Because it's so
And then
pretty.
there's me.
Oh, and also, I'm going on about unun hexium and unun quadium. These two have actually have in periodic tables that you'll most commonly see. They have been shown as unclassified, but recently they have been classified, and Sultan can tell you more about that because he's researched this a lot.
Yeah, they've been classified because they've actually given names to them because they can figure out their actual state of matter and where they are most likely seen. Like hydrogen, it's kind of hard to see it as a liquid or a solid. But unun quadium and unun hexium have actually been given different names that we do not know of at this moment, but they have been figured out which state of matter they could go in.
And the liquids. Could you comment on those?
Oh, there are only two liquids on the periodic table: bromine and magnesium.
Mercury.
Mercury. Not magnesium.
Think the planet.
No jokes this time.
Speaking of planets, there are also some of the gas giants, including Jupiter. Jupiter has lots of hydrogen and helium in it, but towards the core, there's liquid hydrogen and helium. I forget which order it came in,
Does it really matter?
but it's really hot and condensed there, so it's so condensed that the hydrogen and helium actually come from gas to liquid.
Also-
so that's how big Jupiter is.
Also, an extra
1,300 Earths can fit in there.
An extra fun fact is that there are actually elements at the very bottom of the periodic table that have been named off of the planets, like Neptunium and Plutonium,
There's also Einsteinium and Californium.
and Lawrencium and Americium. A lot of people call it Americium. It's wrong.
Merca. Anyways, among most of these elements, some I'll give you some of the weirder names of that can actually be pronounced, some like hydro, whatever it was. So, among some of them, there is vanadium, chromium, magnesium. Then most of you would know iron and cobalt, nickel and copper. And some people know zinc because that can be found in a lot of different kinds of sunblock.
Zinc. I thought it was back in coin.
Okay, guys, can you tell me
It can
where you guys can find what?
So to find
You
most
can
of the...
find nitrogen in the atmosphere.
Along with oxygen, carbon, and neon.
If you wanted to find, let's say, nickel, you could actually take an actual nickel and use that. Or you could find copper and zinc in pennies, and zinc could be found in any type of coin.
If you want to find oxygen, you got it right here.
In your heart.
No, in your lungs.
If you want to find iron, go play Minecraft.
Hey.
Hey,
Okay,
your turn.
I had a couple more questions. How was the experience making this and working with the 8th graders?
It wasn't surprisingly bad. I
No
take
product
a lot of credit to Zoya over there. She did a lot of the work.
He did this much.
You did that much.
No arguing. Cut the clip. Cut.
Silent heroes.
But Zoya helped with like the hot gluing. She did a lot of these. I only did a few rows. Like that one, that
Those
one.
are periods. You're talking about groups.
That one, that one.
Those are groups, not periods.
But actually, I only did like the solids on that row.
You're a
Yeah.
good friend.
Trust me, it was hard to do this all.
How was
it
your experience?
wasn't.
My
And it was
experience.
rock solid.
Well, I think I had a great time working with field experts Sultan, Ethan, Ryan, and Zoya, who's been mentioned, but she's decided not to be on this show as she is out researching science things right
And
now.
she's also part of the Illuminati.
With the other gingerbread man.
How was your experience?
And I've also had a great time with
Product
Sod.
placement.
And myself here. I think I do a very good job. And I also like Ryan and Zoya. They have had a really good attitude with working for us and not stuff that they would be used to. But you know, it's a good thing for all of us.
Super Smash helps.
How was your experience?
It was pretty good. Although there might have been one person who might have gotten on my name's cough cough Ryan cough cough.
You should take a cough drop.
Hey!
Let me get the names there.
I mean, really, it sounds really bad. Like you're coughing out words, really. That's just horrible.
Oh, and let me just say something. Anybody who plays Brawlhalla or Super Smash Bros. On the Wii U, we use that for our breaks, so...
So do you guys want to sign off?
So yeah, that's our second sponsorship because
The Science Show!
Yeah. Wait, but we just sponsored ourselves.
And I still don't get a Coke.
Okay, we're done.